And Russia has said that it has intercepted 47 Ukrainian drones overnight in attacks that injured 6 people. According to the Defense Ministry, the drones were destroyed or intercepted. Rostov's governor Yuri Slusa said that in Rostov the drone attack damaged several apartments, wounding 2. This came after Russia launched deadly attacks on Ukraine, where 2 people were killed in the southeastern city of Zaporizhia and 3 more in the north and to the east. Zaporizhia's governor Ivan Fedorov said the city was hit more than 10 times. 2 people died and 9 others were injured, including a 9-month-old baby. In Sumy, near Ukraine's border with Russia, airstrikes killed 2 people and injured at least 2 more. In Donetsk, Russian forces bombed the town of Kostyanka, killing 1 person. Even as Russia and Ukraine step up aerial attacks, the US President Donald Trump has been pushing the Kremlin and the Kyiv to agree to a ceasefire after more than 3 years of direct fighting. Let's listen to what the head of the district administration of the Zaporizhia City Council had to say.
Ми бачимо тут приліт шахеду, скоріш за все. Тобто наразі всі служби і міської ради, і державні, і ДСНС, всі, і поліція, всі на місці. Зараз розбирання завалів. Тобто інформація по постраждалих уточнюється. Чуть пізніше цю інформацію отримаєте. Районна адміністрація вже починає обход і опрос мешканців.
We are receiving some breaking news that massive wildfires have been reported in South Korea. At least 2 people have been killed. Hundreds of people have been asked to also evacuate. While the authorities plan to determine the exact cause of the blaze after extinguishing it, a person who first reported the fire was confirmed to have said that a spark started the fire during mowing. More details are awaited. Moving on, and in a rare admission, former President Donald Trump has acknowledged that Elon Musk could be susceptible to conflicts of interest due to his business ties with China. This comes amid reports claiming Musk might see top-secret US war plans for a potential conflict with China. Trump denied the reports, stating that Musk was at the Pentagon to discuss his cost-cutting efforts, not China's strategy. Musk's companies, including Tesla, have significant operations in China, adding complexity to his role as a business leader with close ties to the White House. Despite controversy, Trump insists there are no conflicts of interest. Meanwhile, Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth is set to embark on a crucial diplomatic tour of the Asia-Pacific region, visiting the Philippines and Japan amid rising tensions in the South China Sea. The trip aims to reinforce US commitments to regional security and deepen defence partnerships as China's military presence continues to grow. During his visit to the Philippines, Hegseth is expected to discuss expanding joint military exercises and enhancing maritime security cooperation. The US has been vocal about supporting the Philippines' sovereignty in the South China Sea, where China has continued to build military infrastructure on disputed islands. In Japan, Hegseth will meet with senior government and defence officials to discuss strengthening the US-Japan alliance, including increased joint patrols and military readiness. As North Korea's missile tests escalate and China's regional ambitions grow, Japan remains a vital ally in maintaining security and stability to the US. Experts say the tour underscores Washington's strategy to reinforce alliances and maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. With China's presence growing, particularly around the Spratly and Paracel Islands, regional cooperation has become more critical than ever. Well, sticking in the region, and a rare display of diplomatic unity has taken place as the foreign ministers of Japan, South Korea and China have pledged to deepen mutual understanding and cooperation. Meeting in Seoul, the 3 countries discussed regional stability, economic collaboration and ways to ease long-standing tensions. The trilateral talks mark a significant step towards mending strained relations, particularly between Japan and South Korea, whose ties have been troubled by historical disputes and trade tensions. China's participation signals a willingness to foster dialogue despite recent geopolitical frictions, especially in the South China Sea and on the Korean Peninsula. Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi emphasised the importance of practical cooperation, while South Korean Foreign Minister Park Jin expressed hope for a renewed partnership that prioritises peace and stability. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi reiterated Beijing's commitment to regional cooperation and mutual respect, signalling an openness to diplomatic solutions. Analysts note that this meeting could pave the way for a potential trilateral summit involving the three countries' leaders, with economic collaboration and security issues high on the agenda. The discussions also focused on reducing military tensions and boosting trade, as well as addressing global challenges like climate change and supply chain disruptions. In a joint statement, the ministers agreed to maintain regular dialogue and continue efforts to foster peace and mutual prosperity. Moving on, and the UN Children's Agency urged Afghanistan's Taliban rulers to immediately let a lingering ban on girls' education to save the future of millions who have been deprived of their right to education since the Taliban returned to power in 2021. The appeal by UNICEF comes as a new school year begins in Afghanistan without girls beyond 6th grade. The ban said the agency has deprived 400,000 more girls of their right to education, bringing the total to 2.2 million. For over 3 years, the rights of the girls in Afghanistan have been violated, Catherine Russell, UNICEF Executive Director, said in a statement. All girls must be allowed to return to school now. If these capable, bright young girls continue to be denied an education, then the repercussions will last for generations. This is what the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said earlier this month.
We must actively confront backlash, prevent rollbacks, and create spaces where women's rights can thrive. Coordinated impact, working across sectors and all levels to dismantle systemic inequalities, and protecting human rights defenders, as we will defend and amplify the voices of women on the front lines, standing firm.
Moving to Africa, and Niger has declared 3 days of mourning after 44 people were killed in a brutal attack on a mosque. 13 people were also injured in the attack. Officials say the attack happened in the southwestern town of Kokorou and was carried out by terrorists belonging to the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara Group. The heavily armed fighters surrounded the mosque during a prayer service and opened fire. They also burned a market and homes in the area. The government says it will hunt down those responsible. The attack occurred in an area close to the borders with Burkina Faso and Mali, a region in which jihadists affiliated with the Islamic State group and Al-Qaeda have been active for years.
Territoire. Ce vendredi 21 mars 2025, le village de Fambita, commune rurale de Kokorou, a fait l'objet d'une attaque barbare perpétrée par les terroristes de l'État islamique du Grand Sahara, EIGS. En effet, c'est vers 14 h, alors que les fidèles musulmans accomplissaient la prière collective du vendredi, que ces terroristes lourdement armés ont encerclé la mosquée pour opérer leur massacre d'une rare cruauté. Non satisfaits de leur ignominie, ils ont systématiquement incendié le marché et les habitations au cours de leur repli. Le bilan pour la souveraineté, un deuil national de 72 heures sera observé sur toute l'étendue du territoire national et des drapeaux seront mis en berne à compter du samedi 22 mars 2025.
Moving to Europe, and Mehdi Namouche was sentenced to life in prison by a French court for holding 4 journalists hostage in Syria between June 2013 and April 2014 on behalf of the Islamic State. The sentence includes a minimum of 22 years before he can apply for parole. The journalists identified Namouche as their captor, known as Abu Omar, who subjected them to torture and cruel jokes. Namouche denied being their jailer but acknowledged his role as an IS fighter. He had previously joined Al-Qaeda's Syrian affiliate before moving to IS. Namouche is also serving a life sentence in Belgium for the 2014 Jewish Museum attack. The court also sentenced other jihadists, including Salim Bengalem and Osama Atta, who are presumed dead, along with additional Islamic State members involved in the abductions. Let's hear what his lawyer Francis Villemin said.
Mehdi Namouche est resté impassible à l'énoncé du verdict de culpabilité. avec le prononcé de sa peine, la perpétuité. Si Mehdi Demouche est impassible, sa défense ne peut que l'être. D'ailleurs, y avait-il un vrai suspense? En réalité, le vrai suspense maintenant, c'est va-t-on faire appel? Mehdi Demouche va-t-il faire appel de cette condamnation à perpétuité? Normalement, en toute logique, il le devrait, puisqu'il a clamé son innocence quant à la séquestration des otages. Mais un appel serait tout théorique, puisqu'il est déjà de toute façon condamné à la perpétuité pour le quadruple assassinat du musée juif.
Moving on, and Peruvian protesters clashed with police as hundreds marched to Congress in Lima. The protesters are demanding stronger action against organised crime after a rise in extortion and murders. Peru's Congress has removed its interior minister from office. This was owing to his failure to control the surge in violence. Public outrage grew after the murder of popular singer Paul Flores. He was shot when attackers targeted his band's tour bus in Lima. In response, President Dina Boluarte has declared a state of emergency. Soldiers have been deployed to help the police. Peru has recorded over 2,000 killings this year alone, a sharp rise from 2023. Over 2,400 individuals remain stranded at the Thailand-Myanmar border after being rescued from illegal scam compounds in Myanmar, including 11 pregnant women urgently needing medical care. Tragically, one woman, 3 to 4 months pregnant, suffered a miscarriage. The woman faced harsh conditions with limited healthcare and insufficient food in a camp run by Myanmar's Democratic Karen Benevolent Army, which struggles to meet their needs. Thailand is leading efforts to dismantle scam centres that fuel a regional fraud network, coordinating the repatriation of 7,372 people from 20 nationalities. Thailand's Human Rights Commission has called on authorities to transfer the pregnant woman to Tak province for proper medical care. Thai police estimate around 100,000 people still operate in scam centres along the border, with many reportedly joining voluntarily. South Korea's